Coming back with another video that looked like WNBA commissioners singing a different tune about Caitlin Clark. Guys,
shame on you. Cathy Engelbert pens this beautiful article written by Cathy, about Cathy, for Cathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Cathy Engelbert put in place? Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think player first. Wow.
Caitlin Clark is breaking records and filling arenas like a pop superstar with her jump shot. Yet somehow, the WNBA commissioner still claims she's the true MVP. Did she average 30 points a game, or are we just hearing about her in endless press releases? Today, we're exposing the absurdity of pretending the league is booming without acknowledging the incredible talent driving it. This isn't just a snub. It's a clear case of missing the obvious. Grab some popcorn because this situation is hilariously ridiculous. Clark's performance speaks for itself, and ignoring it only highlights the league's disconnect from reality.
Is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Cathy Engelbert put in place? Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think player first. Wow. Drive stakeholder success. Cathy, you are...
Let's be honest, what we're seeing isn't just a rivalry. It's more like a WWE SmackDown front office edition. Caitlin Clark steps into the WNBA spotlight, energizing the league, drawing massive attention, and turning games into must-see events like a basketball Coachella. Girl, please, Clark's impact speaks for itself. The league's success isn't about empty praise or taking credit, it's about recognizing the talent that's actually driving the excitement and growth.
Drive stakeholder success. Cathy, you are a revolutionary and work on transforming the fan experience. You are a visionary. Cathy Engelbert, in this long drawn-out article, goes on and gives herself credit for why the WNBA has finally entered some type of mainstream conversation, has finally entered some type of casual viewing experience. Yeah, I'll turn it on. It's about damn time.
The problem isn't that Cathy Engelbert doesn't see Caitlin Clark's influence, it's that she's well aware of it and it scares her. When a rookie garners more media buzz, fan enthusiasm, and merchandise sales than the league office has managed in years, it signals a seismic power shift. This kind of impact threatens the status quo, and instead of embracing it, the league seems uneasy, trying to downplay or dismiss Clark's significance. We're witnessing a monumental change in the game's landscape, one that could redefine the league's future, and that kind of disruption is enough to send shockwaves through the establishment.
Caitlin Clark, and do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit, and she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball, and I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
Let's be honest, Cathy Engelbert has been commissioner since 2019, and while the league has seen some steady progress, Caitlin Clark didn't just make a small difference, it was a game changer. She didn't simply elevate the sport, she ignited a nationwide conversation and transformed the league's visibility. What's truly intimidating for an administrator is a player who's perceived as more influential and captivating than the person holding the title of commissioner. Clark's impact disrupts the status quo, threatening the established hierarchy and forcing the league to confront the reality that a single player can reshape the entire landscape of women's basketball.
But Cathy Engelbert, in her naivete or in her delusion, she takes credit for it. Instead of saying it's because of Caitlin Clark, instead of saying it's because of the person from Iowa, instead of saying it was because of her, Cathy says, oh, it's all me. My strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. In this entire article, Cathy Engelbert mentions Caitlin Clark's name 2, maybe 3 times. Angel Reese's name once. Cameron Brink's name once. Let's get right into it, because this article, from start to finish, is disgusting. But we're only going to touch.
And this is where the comedy practically writes itself. The WNBA is trying to operate like a Fortune 500 company with a strict hierarchy, the commissioner at the top, players somewhere near the bottom, probably next to the equipment bags. But Caitlin Clark? She completely skipped the organizational chart. She jumped straight to being the league's face without asking for permission or filling out any request to become an icon forms. Now Engelbert finds herself in a difficult position. She's trying to hold on to control, maintain her narrative, and ensure she isn't overshadowed. But here's the ironic part. Clark already has the influence. She doesn't need to fight for power, she already wields it. Clark is filling arenas, driving broadcast deals, and lighting up highlight reels. Fans aren't showing up with support bureaucracy signs. They're wearing Clark 22 jerseys and cheering as if she's a pop superstar. Cathy can't just come out and say, you know what, Caitlin Clark is the reason this league is on fire right now, because that would mean admitting she's been eclipsed by a 22-year-old rookie. That's not just humbling, it's practically handing over the reins and saying, drive us into the future, I'll just sit in the back seat. Clark's meteoric rise has turned the league upside down, forcing the old guard to confront a new reality, where influence isn't dictated by hierarchy, but by the power of a player who's capturing everyone's attention.
Everyone, the general public that is, flocking. Is Caitlin playing today? If so, is it on TV? And now there's no Caitlin for a couple weeks. Do you feel that wind out of the balloon with no Caitlin Clark for 2 weeks?
Yeah, it does, because not only the mention that like no one's buying like either people are refunding their tickets or they're just not going to go to the game. It really does show how much of an impact Caitlin Clark has in the league, because she brought the viewership to the league where no one really has, because like obviously she's been on the social media high rise since she was like in Iowa, and has brought that over to the WNBA. So the fact that this kind of impact, it just shows how much of impact she can make in the WNBA on a professional.
Instead, she's resorted to corporate doublespeak. The league's growth is attributable to long-term strategic planning, she says, even as Caitlin Clark's face is plastered on every billboard and ESPN alert, like a walking contradiction. Strategic planning? Please. The real strategy was, hope a player like Caitlin Clark shows up and makes us relevant again. And it only gets more ridiculous. While Engelbert is busy playing PR whack-a-mole trying to downplay Clark's impact, Clark is out here rewriting what it means to be a rookie. She's not just playing. What makes it even more amusing is how obvious it all is to everyone else. The media recognizes it, the fans see it, even rival players, some of whom are gritting their teeth while tweeting bitter comments, know the truth. Yet Engelbert still tries to portray herself as the mastermind behind this cultural shift. That's like standing next to a wildfire with a Bic lighter, shouting, I started this. Let's also remember, in sports, power isn't just about titles or tenure. It's about influence. And Clark has that influence in abundance, shaping viewership, ticket sales, endorsements, and even team travel plans.
Touch on the main points. By nearly every metric, 2024 was a standout year for the Women's National Basketball Association. As transcendent rookies, Caitlin Clark, there it is, Angel Reese, there she is, and Cameron Brink, yet again, entered the league. Regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million viewers, up 170% from the previous season. Let's stop right there. Pull up. Skirt. Interesting, Cathy. So you are telling me that regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million viewers. You guys have all seen this tweet before by Mr. Michael Mulvihill. Final WNBA regular season viewership, all rated networks. Caitlin Clark games, 1.178 million. All other games not featuring Caitlin Clark, 394,000. But Ben, this is just a Twitter person. How am I supposed to take this at face? Fair point, folks, but you know I'll never come and lie to you. I'm not Cathy Engelbert.
Engelbert may wear the title of commissioner, but Caitlin Clark undeniably holds the heartbeat of the sport. If she tweets something, it trends instantly. When she steps onto the court, viewers tune in en masse. She has the data, the numbers, the Google alerts. Probably wakes up every morning to 5 new headlines starting with Caitlin Clark and ends each staff meeting with someone whispering, "We should probably thank Caitlin again." Instead of embracing Clark's influence with grace, Engelbert seems to be trying to gatekeep her success, as if worried Clark might accidentally stumble into her office and start running the league herself. And that's where things turn Shakespearean. When power is driven by insecurity, chaos ensues. You get awkward interviews, strange statements like, "This has been years in the making," even as the ratings skyrocket following Clark's debut. It's like standing in front of a mirror with spinach in your teeth, insisting everything is under control. There's a strange comedy in watching an organization desperately try to control a narrative that's already taken on a life of its own. The more Cathy downplays Clark's impact, the more obvious it becomes that Clark is the real reason people are suddenly asking, when does the next WNBA game start? It's like denying the sun exists while wearing sunglasses and sunscreen.
Women that get this, I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot, every time the girl plays a game, she got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful they have been.
So yes, this is a power struggle, but not one fought with X's and O's. It's a psychological cage match, and Cathy Engelbert is clearly outmatched. The moment she admits that Clark is the driving force behind the league's resurgence, she also concedes that she's no longer the star of the show. And when your entire role is to be the face of the league, that realization must sting. At least she can probably still take credit for the charter flights. Maybe. But let's be honest, Caitlin Clark needs to stop playing it nice and start flipping tables. Enough with the polite media sound bites and the humble Iowa girl act. It's time to demand what she deserves. Charter flights? Try private jets. Media deals? Only if she's producing her own documentary. Because clearly, the league isn't going to give her what she needs unless she grabs the mic, kicks over the podium, and starts issuing demands like a pop star on tour. No Gatorade unless there's a working espresso machine in the locker room and a unicorn-shaved ice bath. The message is clear. Nothing will change unless Clark forces it. This bizarre attempt to downplay her impact isn't some strategic oversight or giving her space to grow. It's jealousy, raw and unfiltered, like schoolyard envy. Cathy Engelbert sees Caitlin Clark doing more for the league in a week than a decade of committees, brand consultants, and PowerPoint presentations ever managed. And it's eating her up inside, like she just swallowed a fiery jalapeno smoothie. Clark isn't playing by the old rules anymore, and that's what's truly bothering the league's leadership.
The clock 3 years ago. What you said then compared to what you would say now?
Yeah, again, we were in a very different place 3 years ago. I think the quality of the game was there, but the marketing wasn't there. The dollars and everything that it takes to get a national exposure. And I think our broadcast partners like ESPN have stepped up in a huge way. Our marketing partners, our corporate partners, we've done great from a revenue perspective there. So I would have said 3 years ago, maybe we weren't ready for this moment, but that's why we raised that capital. We came off the pandemic year, which was tough for us because that was a pretty existential time for this league.
You can almost taste the pettiness radiating from half court. Let's be honest. If Caitlin Clark were just another anonymous player, a rookie trying to find her place, the league's leadership would be showering her with praise, broadcasting her stats everywhere, and celebrating her as the future. But because Clark is bigger than the system, because she's grabbing headlines, shifting focus, and heaven forbid, making the league seem like it owes her something, now, suddenly, it's radio silence. Or worse, a stream of hollow corporate doublespeak about growing together that feels like being gaslit through a press release. The truth about jealous power figures? They don't just ignore you, they actively try to dull your shine. And that's what's happening here. Caitlin Clark is drawing millions of fans, sparking conversations across the nation. Yet Cathy Engelbert can't even be bothered to mention her unless it's buried under vague, long-term strategies. It's like trying to discuss iPhones without mentioning Steve Jobs. Imagine Beyoncé releasing a new album and her record label responding, "Well, we also added some new vending machines in the office." That's what it feels like every time Cathy tries to claim credit for the league's rise. Clark's impact is undeniable, and that's what really irks the league's leadership.
Treatment by other players on the court is just getting to be egregious. Because as we saw Trinity Carter, she hip-checked Caitlin Clark from behind, at the same time calling her the B word. You could see Angel Reese over on the sideline cheering. This is treatment that Caitlin Clark is receiving for very specific reasons. I think we really need to focus on the race part of all of this, because I do believe that if Caitlin Clark were this amazing and she were not white, nobody would have an issue with it. They probably would be propping her up, celebrating her greatness. And another question that I keep asking myself when reading the coverage on this is what would happen if the roles were reversed?
It's not just a missed opportunity, it's outright sabotage. The WNBA finally has a once-in-a-generation star who could elevate the league to new heights, but the commissioner acts as if she's allergic to the spotlight. Instead of embracing Caitlin Clark's talent and helping her shine, they're giving her the cold shoulder, scheduling her games with the precision of someone holding a grudge and a dartboard. Caitlin's patience is admirable, but at some point, humility won't protect her from being overlooked or undervalued, especially when the league still struggles with basic logistics. Double-booked games, inconsistent promotion, and a tendency to ignore the very players who draw fans in. This isn't about earning her spot. She is the spot. She's the reason people are watching, talking, and getting excited about women's basketball. She's the storyline, the trailer, the headline, and the sequel. It's time she demands more. More recognition, more respect, more influence. She needs to shake the system from the top down, challenge the league's complacency, and assert her power. Because if she doesn't own her influence now, the league will continue to exploit her talent while giving her minimal credit, pretending her rise was just a happy accident. The longer she waits to claim her rightful place at the table, the more entrenched the league's indifference becomes. It's time for Caitlin Clark to stand up and demand the recognition she deserves.
Relationship with winners. When you're an underdog, they feel impelled to root for you. But if you're up too long, you better grab a helmet. And Caitlin Clark has now become up for too long, because now haters jumping out the woodworks. Now everybody's like, wait a second, why are you offering her $5 million to play in the league? Why is she getting a 96-page story in magazine issues? Why is she getting all this attention? There's been Candace Parker, there's been Skylar Diggins, there's been Maya Moore, there's been Lisa Leslie's. Why just now all the attention for Caitlin Clark? Reason I hate it, that's because people are starting to paint a bullseye on her back. And she ain't got nothing to do with the paint or the brush.
Here's the real danger Cathy Engelbert refuses to see. Caitlin Clark isn't simply a rising star in the WNBA. She's choosing to stay here. She could just as easily walk into broadcasting, land lucrative endorsement deals, or join a global 3-on-3 circuit, earning more money, headlines, and fans than the entire league's postseason. If the WNBA continues to ignore her true value, they risk losing the very player who's holding their entire operation together. And then what? Engelbert might finally get her wish. A league with no star bigger than her. Just an empty press room and a PowerPoint titled Q3 Growth Metrics, starring no one. That would be the most ironic, tragic, and entirely avoidable downfall in sports history. Yet Engelbert still can't bring herself to say aloud, Caitlin Clark is the reason we're relevant. It's almost impressive, the Olympic-level mental gymnastics it takes to publicly promote league growth while sidestepping the human tidal wave that's fueling it. Caitlin is out here selling out arenas like she's the Taylor Swift of basketball, and Cathy acts as if it's just a coincidence. Oh, look at these fans. They must have come for a greater organizational center. No, Cathy, they came for Caitlin Clark. Ignoring her talent isn't just short-sighted, it's a gamble that, if not corrected, could cost the league everything they're trying so desperately to build.
Yeah, they're hating on Caitlin Clark. What do we think of Trinity Carter's foul?
It's dirty. Like, I get it. Like, you're trying to prove a point and, you know, be a little physical, but still a cheap shot. You cannot do that in any level of basketball.
As Caitlin Clark
no
would say,
matter what.
It's not a basketball play.
It is not.
And I do agree.
I think that they were trying to, they're trying to hurt the person that's trying to get all of them paid more.
The last thing I seen was her saying,
Maybe
besides 3-point shooting, what does she bring to the table? Whoa, why you hating?
Lots of money, bitch.
She is a phenomenal passer.
She said, "We grown as fuck, and you're all talking about enforcer with a laugh emoji."
She's not just a player, she's the entire show. She's the energy, the ticket sales, the ESPN coverage, the buzz before the game, the headlines afterward. She's the reason your niece finally knows what the WNBA even is. Caitlin Clark is the product, the star, the face of the league. And it's beyond petty. It's a serious professional failing that the commissioner can't simply say, "She's our star, and we're proud to have her." This isn't 1998 and you're not hiding Beyonce in the back so Destiny's Child gets a turn. You promote the icon, you build the league around her. Caitlin isn't just good for business, she is the business. Until those in charge stop pretending she's just another jersey number, they're not growing the league, they're holding it hostage. Recognizing her value isn't just smart, it's essential for the future of the WNBA. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.